Hello guys, this is Darkomiku, and in this video of my multi-rarity weapon tier list, this is a summary of the summary video. So for those who are not in the mood to also watch all of my 8 other videos, then this is the one you should start maybe. Okay, so let's get started. I got a lot of I posted this on Reddit, so here we go. On the summary, we got intro on the page 2, weapon similarities on the page 3, weapon characteristic table on the page 3, importance of these characteristics, weapon situations table, same rarity tier lists, and then this is the intro part of my first video and then there is 6 other videos, each covering each video covering each weapon spotlight. So Brave Bow, Saw Blade, Tornado, Stalker Steps, Bright Spear, and Depth Scythe. And then the last video is the multi-rarity weapon tier list. So let's go over all the topics I cover. So here I already said those things. So let's skip straight to Brave Bow. So in Brave Bow, I covered the pros and cons and recommendation for Brave Bow users. The important part of the Brave Bow is that it is very easy to start a step. It is balanced, useful in all stages, especially in dual mode. Doesn't miss a lot of shots. Good enough knockback with Art of Combat. No major problems synergizing with books and skills and books. And then the cons is that it just kind of a weaker version of Spear. And then why its epic stat is bad, you can watch my other videos. That yeah, there's a reason why this Google Docs has 72 pages. I'm just skipping through things. So recommendation for bow users. Then I talk about equipments and runes, and then for heroes, and then skill choices and skill order. Then we go to the Saw Blade. Pros, cons, why is Saw Blade's DPS so low? So recommendation for Saw Blade users. Pros is beginner friendly weapon, very hard to mess up the starter step, and then balanced with the help of Art of Combat, doesn't miss most of the shots. No major problems synergizing with books and skills. It's quite like Brave Bow, but the problem is that its DPS is very low and very bad epic stat. And then so on. More details, you watch all my other 8 videos. Why is Blade's DPS so low? I explain it here. Recommendation for Blade users, no recommendations. Just try another weapon, I think. Tornado. So there's a intro, pros, cons, why Tornado's epic stat is so bad, recommendation for Tornado users. So Tornado is actually the first weapon I made a weapon spotlight, but I didn't name it like that. I called it 11 reasons why Tornado sucks, and that is where all my mathematical proof are. So I just put it, I just linked that video in this video, and then you know. So the pros is very beginner friendly, easy to start step, and there are tons of cons. Yeah, there are tons of cons. So recommendation for Tornado players, it's the same as Saw Blade. Try out new weapons, please. Yeah. Then the Stalker Staff. So now we have more to cover because Stalker Staff, in my opinion, is the one of the top 3 weapons. So there is the most important thing is actually to decide which 3 weapons you should upgrade to Ancient Legendary and which 3 you should use as a sacrifice for that. So there's an intro, pros, cons, and then I talk about the cons with missed projectiles, the cons about wall problems, and others. And then I analyze the Stalker Staff epic stat. Then I calculate how much crit chance Steph needs to catch up with other weapons. And then I do the same test as I did with Brave Bow to determine how much increased DPS the staff has. And then I talk about Miyagi's cats and strikes, how they the staff doesn't power them up as much as other weapons. Then how bouncy walls don't totally save staff's wall problems. Then the little experiment homework for you guys, and recommendation for staff users. So this one is actually not a random recommendation saying that you should change weapons, but it is actually decent recommendations. I cover equipment, runes, heroes, skill choices, and order. And then in skill choices and order, I cover why the second diagonal arrows are important, and when to pick up or not pick up a front arrow. Then let's go to the next one. Oh, where is it? Okay, the next one is Bright Spear. So in Bright Spear, I cover more things than the Stalker staff. There's the intro, pros, cons, then spears, weapon, modifier, and epic stat. Why can spear be a better anti-boss weapon than staff? How much staff needs to miss so that spear and death scythe can catch up? And then the chapter 7 and 14 boss analysis. Bosses that dashes, runs, chases you, jumps or burries or double bosses. All of them play an important role in deciding which weapon you should use better. So there is the anti-synergy in staff's mechanics. I explain more anti-synergies. And then ice skills just make staff's DPS worse. Then why is spear better than staff in DPS against mobs? So 6.1 previous reasons plus 3 more reasons for why this happens. Also, I explain why staff's problems versus mobs also apply to mobs, versus bosses also applies to mobs. And then important differences between mobs and bosses. And then safest shotgun style user. So the spear is the safest shotgun user. Even though it is not the easiest one, it is still the safest. Then heroes projectile spawn point. I cover why shooting through walls is possible. Actually, not shooting through walls; it is shooting past walls. Then spear's heavy weakness against melee mobs, and then is shotgun style worth the risk. Then 7 recommendations for spear users. Again, equipment, runes, heroes, skill choices, and order. Then let's go to the last one. Oh my god. Death Scythe. Here it goes. So Death Scythe is actually the video I put the clips of gameplays. So I highly suggest you guys to watch the video instead of reading it. So here is it, the Death Scythe. I saved the best for last, and let me introduce you guys to the king of hard runs. So there is a reason why it is called Death Scythe, and it is 23 pages explaining why. So I cannot explain everything here, it's explained already in my other videos. So let's go to the pros, cons, best epic stat. I explain why Death Scythe has the best epic stat. And then the extreme skill synergy from ricochet, bouncy walls, piercing arrows, Miyagi's cats, strikes, stars, and stars with ricochet too. So there is synergy in Death Scythe's epic stat with these skills. And then Death Scythe epic stat, average increase in DPS. I calculate that. The strategic value of the headshot, and then the Death Scythe survivability value, and then is Death Scythe really useless against bosses? Let's try to I try to figure it out. And then flexing our new toy on the competition. So I calculate the DPS comparison, actually the damage comparison, and then DPS will actually depend on how well you start a step. But I got the start step guide telling you, showing you that you can reach very near the same attack speed if you start step very well. And if you don't start a step very well, then you will reach the same attack speed. So there's a tornado versus depth scythe, bow versus scythe, spear versus scythe, diagonal staff versus scythe. So why I call diagonal staff? Because I am already including that staff has a diagonal arrow. But that's not always true. Then depth scythe versus everything characteristic table. So there's a characteristic table that has a bunch of characteristics that I created so that I can precisely convey to you some of the importance of some of the aspects of this game and of each weapon. And then I explain every category, what it means, not every, some of the categories, meanings, and then recommendation for depth scythe users. I actually have a video about the dream skill combo scenario, and yeah, that's the recommendation. And then heroes and everything else. So this is, as you can see on the right side of my scroll bar, it was near 60%. So let's see. Oops, I think yeah, wait. The last thing is multi-rarity weapon tier list. So here since I got the details comparison between each weapons on the depth scythe weapon tier list, depth scythe weapon spotlight, then I just had to do the final calculations. So there's an intro, all rarities weapon attack table, then the multi-rarity weapon tier list for hard chapters, and then I made another one for boss chapters. The hard chapter for hard chapters, it was easier to make. For boss chapters, the spear is not does not dominate like depth scythe does on the hard chapters. So sometimes bow can be a better choice, and then most of the times it would be staff being a better choice. But then you have to consider it. There's a lot of mobility of bosses and so on. There's a lot of things that I covered in staff and spears spotlight, talking about these details. So and then since my multi-rarity weapon tier list is actually complicated to use, I have explained how to use this tier list. And then there are the very important final observations. The intro, basic stat from each weapon rarity. So C is for common, G is for great, R for rare, E epic, PE perfect epic, L for legendary, and AL for ancient legendary. So here is the table. Each of the attacks, these are already included with 30% from talent, but without any percent from other sources. Then let's go straight to the tier list. So multi-rarity weapon tier list for hard chapters complete. And then you can stop and watch. Then there is the multi-rarity weapon tier list for boss chapters complete too. So there we go. How to use these tier lists. And then very important final observations. I think I need to say it again because they are actually very important. So this tier list is, remember that we are limit testing. So I am limit testing depth scythes and bright spears advantage over other weapons. So if you want to have a comfortable advantage, then multiply those numbers on the table by 1.1 or 1.15. And those numbers do not include attack speed, so they do not include how proficient you are in starter step with all weapons. So I suggest you to learn Depth Scythe and Bright Spear's starter step before limit testing their potential. These are the two hardest weapons to starter step, so remember, once you get one multi-shot and 1 or 2 or 3 attack speed boosts, when you start step at max efficiency, all weapons have near the same attack speed. Some of them will attack faster because on the max efficiency, your fingers are tapping so fast that you can keep up with the weapon attack speed. But there is an attack speed limit too, so keep that in mind. A good start step makes all weapons have the same attack speed. So this means that you can start step very well on all weapons, but it's just not humanly possible to start step at max efficiency all the time, every time. So with every weapon, so yeah. So most of the time, your attack speed will be limited by how fast you can constantly keep up with a constant clicking speed on start step speed. So if you click too fast, you might cancel your attack. So it's not good to cancel your attack. So have a good start step. All weapons can have the same attack speed. And then a bad start step makes Depth Scythe and Spear's DPS vanish. Yeah, they are the hardest one to start step, and if you don't train it, then they are very bad because yeah, you cancel most of your attacks and that's it. So check out my start step guide for more details. And then remember that there are two main ways to kill. This is not that important. So for hard chapter tier list, the Depth Scythe's epic stat gains more value the harder the mobs are. I did the difficulty setting. I did set the difficulty above average. As the name suggests, it is for a hard chapter when you are low on equipment, when you are not farming, you are trying to clear the first time, you are struggling to clear it, then Depth Scythe it will be a better choice. But if it is too hard for you if you are not confident in your dodging skills, then only go for Depth Scythe once your account has over 1.2 the number on the table. And use the next weapon in the tier list using the method I said earlier. Then for boss chapter tier list, as I said earlier, Spear doesn't dominate this category as Depth Scythe does in the other category, so there will be a bunch of high numbers, wins and loses. When this happens, remember that Spear practically never misses a lot of shots, while other weapons can miss, especially Tornado and Diagonal Staff. The only way to figure out some of the comparisons is just to learn their starter step and test them out yourself. It is not a clear-cut winner. Spear is not a clear-cut winner like when you're comparing different rarities. Like Depth Scythe can be a clear-cut winner in some cases when you compare different rarities, but Spear is not. Like it is not that dominant. So that's it. This is the summary of the summary. And thank you very much for watching, and may Star Step be with you guys. Bye. This is Dakomiku signing out. Bye.